All right. I think we're live. Are we live, Joe?
You know what? We'll find out soon enough.
Okay. So I think we're live. Hey, everybody. I'm Faye Yates with Team Magic. I'm sitting here with my new business partner, Joe Fleenor, now of Team Magic from Above the Fold. Team Magic and Above the Fold. If you haven't heard already, hopefully you have. We merged earlier this year, and we're excited about it. We've been working together for about 3 weeks, really. Getting to know each other and our styles, and I think we get along pretty well.
Only like 6 or 7 fights, right?
I mean, that's not bad. It's not bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah. So, I think, you may be wondering why, we did this. We both had fairly successful businesses, I would like to say, going into the COVID pandemic, which, brought on a lot of challenges for us. And I think a lot of people as well, and there's a lot of shifting going on. This is one of those really, I'll say that we had some discussions prior to this pandemic. We just weren't there yet, and I think this opened our eyes a little bit more to how we could really work together.
Yeah, 2020 was terrible. 2021 is better, but still very, very challenging.
Yes.
And we knew 2021 was going to be challenging, and we realized that because of everything going on, we were stronger together versus separate, and we see not all the negative, we see the positive too, and we truly believe that come 2022, and hopefully even later this year, but really 2022 and beyond, is a tremendous opportunity for growth in the sport and in racing, and we want to be there and be ready for it and capture that and really take Team Magic to that next level. So
right.
That was part of the major discussions that we had over these last 7 months or so about combining forces. So
yeah, I mean, it makes sense. We're stronger together. We complement each other. Our backgrounds complement each other. There's some challenges with that though, because I have a Vandy background and
go Vols!
UT. But we're also okay so far with that.
So far.
I try not to bring up sports when it comes to the basketball and things like that this year. So
well, neither one of us have a whole lot to brag
that's
about.
True.
Here lately.
So that makes it easy. So anyway, yeah, so we're together now and looking forward to actually being at the race sites together.
Yeah.
So,
and you know what? Let's even back up a little bit, because why are we even doing this right now? Well, we're doing Magic Chats.
Yeah.
We wanted to do something on a regular basis. We don't know yet how often we're going to do these, but fairly frequently we're going to get on and just share updates on everything Team Magic and the industry and the community we serve. Yeah. And we want to try to make this as transparent as possible. So we invite you to ask questions. We'll try to be able to monitor these on our screen and answer them as they come. But we get that there's a lot of confusion going on right now with COVID and racing and deferrals and refunds and all the stuff that kind of goes into that. And we want to give you as much of a behind the curtains look as we can possibly give you, so there's no confusion or questions on that.
Right, exactly. Well put.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about fun stuff. What do you say?
Yeah, let's talk about something fun. We have something brand new to announce.
We do. And actually, I guess it's not technically brand new. We did technically announce it last week.
That's true.
But we have a brand new race on the calendar, a brand new triathlon to be more specific, the Paris Landing Triathlon, which is not brand new in the grand scope of things. It's been around for 6 years now. We're going on 6 years.
This is the 6th year.
This is the 6th year of the event. Was always organized by the local community out at Paris Landing and in the Paris community. And they recently asked us if we wanted to take on this race. It's a major undertaking to put on a triathlon, as anybody that's out there has ever done. It's a lot of work. And Team Magic, we had a relationship with the folks out there, and this opportunity came up. And for 2021, it really fits our schedule and what we're trying to do and grow, especially with our grassroots racing. Right. So Paris Landing is a great new triathlon.
Yeah, we went there. And so I actually grew up not too far from Paris. So I knew the area. I hadn't been there in a very long time. But it's just a beautiful state park. I mean, we stood there on a very cold and windy day at the water with some very nice people with the park and with the city and with the county. And we thought it was pretty then, and it was a cold, dark, windy just brisk day.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, this is a really good sign, because if it looks good now, imagine what it looks like, in really nicer weather. So we had a really good vibe.
Every time race directors go to any sort of venue, like, we instantly start thinking about what could this look like as a race venue. And Paris Landing, I mean, instantly we're like, this is a race venue. We could kind of see it all. And I'm very excited about showcasing what that's going to look like as a new Team Magic race.
Yeah.
But that race is taking place on August 7th this year. So mark your calendars for that. And here's the breaking news. It's actually live and ready for registrations right now.
Right now.
We did not do any sort of grand announcement. Here it is. But messaging will be going out next week regarding that. So you guys kind of get exclusive access to get in as kind of our soft launch for that race.
Yeah.
But it's open.
Yeah, and the basic info is on the website. So we don't have a lot of detail about, if you want to know how the transition area is going to flow, don't go looking for that. But you can see the courses. We have the Map My Ride, Map My Run courses up. You can check things out. There's some travel information if you want to get yourself all booked way out. I will tell you that if you're traveling from out of town, that is not a bad idea. It is in a fairly rural area, so to be as close as possible to the race site, go ahead and book your hotels.
Yep. And just for the future of that race, this is one of the not main reasons, but one of the reasons why we really wanted to take this race on is the future of this venue and this race. So Paris Landing State Park has always had a lodge there on site, and the last couple of years it's been, I think they tore it down and they're rebuilding it.
Yeah.
And it will not be done for this year, but it will be done for next year. And it's a beautiful lodge they're building there with 90 rooms right there on site. So that's going to be a great opportunity for us.
It looks like it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah. We're also very, very fortunate to already have a presenting sponsor for this race for the next couple of years. So thank you to Paris Henry County Chamber of Commerce. They are going to be tremendous partners for us with everything. They've been involved in this race the last number of years.
Yeah.
So that's the perfect partner for us.
Absolutely. Yeah. And they came to us, which, for us as going into a community and organizing a race and taking up their roads, their space, and that's all of us. That's you guys as participants and us as race directors. For us to take over that time and space, they have to want us there. So it's not, we can't pop into anywhere. So them contacting us with a desire to have this there tells you how much they've enjoyed everyone coming and racing with them and showing off their beautiful area the past 5 years.
Yep. If you have any questions on Paris Landing, drop it here in the comment section or just reach out to us. But do check it out at team-magic.com. The race is now live and you can go ahead and register for that.
Yep.
Next up, we have another, not a new race, but something we recently announced and something that we're really, really excited to have the opportunity to host this year. And I'll let you kind of talk about that.
Yeah, so the Music City Half Marathon, 10K and 5K, we'd switched this a few years ago to be a St. Patrick's themed race, I guess 3 years ago. So, which would have been actually a year ago today, we were doing Thursday we were doing packet pickup and then got canceled due to COVID for the St. Pat's race for 2020. So it's our anniversary of that. So we could not have the race, and we couldn't plan and organize the race this year for St. Pat's. Although on March 1st, there was an announcement that they were going to allow events to be held under certain criteria, very controlled criteria approved by the Metro Health Department. So we started looking at, is there a way to just have take off the St. Pat's theme and let's still have the Music City, the running events. So we looked at venues and found a date and a venue that would work that's still in Nashville. So it's Shelby Bottoms, which has beautiful greenways. But it's also an area that's not in a big public setting, that's a little more controllable to be within what Metro Health needs for us, the different things we have to satisfy to get the event approved. So it's happening on April 17th. We're super excited to offer this. We're excited to do it, even though it will look different than normal. For instance, we announced this really late, and so you can't count on getting a finisher medal, but there will be a finisher prize. That'll be announced later what that's going to be. So everyone that crosses the finish line will get something special with the race logo on it. And you'll still get a shirt. You're still going to get those things. And you'll still, mainly, you get a goal to set to come out and run. I know a lot of people have still been running and staying in shape. And this gives you a place to go and do that together, apart, so to speak. So we still have to be mindful of social distancing and wearing masks before and after. with respect to what's required by Metro Health and what's going on with the pandemic still. So we look forward to the days when we don't have to do that. This race will still be going on. Hey, but we can have a race, and we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, and we're fortunate to have the race because a lot of the Nashville traditional spring races are not on the calendar this year. They've been forced to be canceled, and we've been very lucky and fortunate to be able to have our race around the same time as a lot of these other races. So we're hopeful that we can get people to show up and want to come be racing again.
Please come out and run.
We've got a great race for you. We're really excited about it.
Yeah, and I will say, just to add to that, the plan is for 2022 is to go back to the St. Pat's themed race. So I think that date next year, to save the date, is March 19th.
Yep.
So right. So this is more of a let's have this, but we don't plan for this to be an annual spot on our calendar. Obviously, we anticipate rock and roll coming back and other things, and that's not our goal with this. This is really just a one and done type thing. But we'd really, really appreciate you coming out and supporting it.
100%. Again, if you have questions, drop it in the comment box. And before we go on to our next topic, I did see a question come in about Paris Landing Triathlon. The question about aquabike, and the answer to that is yes. All of our events, all of our triathlons have the aquabike option, so you can sign up for that. Okay, so I don't know about you, Faye, but I get a lot of questions from people daily regarding when is Tri Louisville opening up? When is Music City opening up? When is Chattanooga Waterfront opening up?
Only a few.
Only a few. And
I'm glad people want to know. Let's wind back and say we're happy you want to know. We want to know too. So.
Yes. And so we're gonna talk about that. Okay, we're gonna give you, like I mentioned earlier, the behind the curtains look at what's going on with us and with those cities as to why there's kind of a delay here. Okay. And happy to answer questions too if you have them. So Tri Louisville, we'll start there because that's the first one on our calendar, set for June 6th in downtown Louisville. Tri Louisville, we are working as hard as we've ever worked to try and get approval from all the necessary permitting agencies to have that race in June. For those of you who are not aware, there's a lot that goes into permitting a downtown urban triathlon. There's a lot of factors in that. And then to throw in COVID on top of that creates even more complexity. So we have never in our life created so many emergency plans and safety plans and restrictions and guidelines just to try and figure out ways to have a race safely that they're comfortable with and we're comfortable with as well. And Tri Louisville is, we're hopeful, to be honest. I think we finally have submitted everything they could possibly need. There's lots of back and forth. And we've given them everything, and now it's a waiting game for us. We did not want to open registration until we have all those permits in place because we don't want to deal with another 2020 with having all this money and having to deal with it. So we are really working with them. So I don't have a date, but we're hopeful that maybe in the next week.
We hope so.
We'll have an answer one way or the other, okay? We are hopeful that it's a yes, okay? I'll tell you that. But I have no guarantees and no certainties with that. But we promise you we will keep you posted on that. We have a great plan in place for it. The city is really tremendous to work with. Waterfront Park is tremendous to work with. So it's just a matter of getting everybody aligned and comfortable with this.
Right.
So that's where we are with that.
Yeah, I think what everyone needs to realize, I mean, we do think an answer is forthcoming, in the near future. If it continues to drag out and it continues to be looked at, I mean, we're not the only game in town for them. You guys have to know, I mean, they are really being nice and responsive. They have other things going on too. It's not just us. So we have to be very respectful of their time. There will be a time where we have to make a decision. I mean, there's planning that has to take place, right? So, just like with this run, there's only so many things we can do for the run that we're doing on April 17th. It's going to be fantastic. You're going to get mainly the things you would normally expect, but there's limitations to what you can do in a short amount of time planning for an event, especially an event. This is a triathlon, and there's obviously more to plan for. So we hope to know soon.
Yeah.
So,
and many people on here right now, this is the Team Magic site, and Tri Louisville is a brand new race to the Team Magic portfolio. So we encourage you, when this does go live, we encourage Team Magic, all of you out there watching, check out this race. It is, it's up there with Music City and the Chattanooga waterfronts of the world. It's a downtown urban closed bike course race, great vibrant atmosphere, utilizing a lot of what Ironman Louisville had done back when that race was still there. So check it out for many of you that may have not known about this race or raced it in the past. It's a great event.
I'm excited to be part of it.
Yeah. All right, so next up?
Yeah, so next up, I guess, will be Chattanooga, which is scheduled for the last Sunday in June. Here's the deal. So Chattanooga, which is also slated to be the national championship for Clydesdale and Athena, once again, since it did not take place in 2020, that came over to 2021. So there's a lot of people outside of our normal, 1,000+ crowd of people that just love to come and do this race in this beautiful city. We also have a national championship. These people are waiting to hear about this too. So there's, I'd say there's hope for this event. They have opened up events to 250 people. I'll just tell you that that's their number right now. What we know is that number could change between now and the end of June. However, we also know that we have to have a certain amount of people to make it a viable event. I mean, we're just being, Joe, when he opened this, he said, we're going to be transparent. To put on a race for 250 people in an urban area in downtown Chattanooga, expense-wise, that is a challenge for us. That is really a challenge, and so we're having to weigh a lot of things, and we're also, we've submitted, just like he has for Louisville, we've submitted all the plans, all the guidelines, the things that we'll do for social distancing, depending on, where things are at that point, the end of June, that, these are the things we'll follow and update. And Teddy and I say hello.
Here we go.
We knew it was coming at some point.
Live Facebook.
My dogs come to work with me, so it's the mailman. So, we are hopeful of Chattanooga waterfront, and this is obviously one of those things that, as soon as possible, we will be making that decision and making that announcement. Teddy, no bark. Teddy, come here. Come here.
Yep.
So, yes, of course we want to have this race. You all know we want to have it. We know you want to have it. We hear a lot about it. We want to have it because it's a national championship. We are still working on it.
Yeah.
That's being fully transparent.
And we want, and even more to that, we want it so bad. We're looking at every possible venue out there to maybe it's not just, we're not solely focused on where it's always been. If we can do it somewhere else and pick it up and move it for this 1 year, we're exploring all those options. So believe us, we're trying to make it work. Yeah.
So hang tight. We hope to have an announcement on that soon as well.
Yep.
So we have one more.
One more.
Yeah.
Right here in our backyard here, the Eddie Farrell Music City Triathlon. Scheduled to take place on July 24th.
Yep.
Downtown Nashville. And, downtown Nashville is a hot spot. You want to give an update on Nashville?
So back to, obviously, we're able to do the running event in Shelby Park, which tells you that events are being allowed. Again, depending on your risk factors, up to 1,000 people. They may limit you to 500, depending on what else is going on. So in terms of what you're doing at your event, they have a very nicely done, the Metro Health Department, very, risk assessment with events, and I very much respect what they're doing. And we're working through those things where we could have 500 or 1,000. We also have another situation that we're waiting to hear on is, so until the Nashville Soccer Club Stadium is complete, many of you may know that the Nashville Soccer Club plays at Nissan Stadium. So we're waiting to hear their schedule, and if they have a home game on this date, what does that mean for us? And can we work in harmony with them having our event that morning, depending on what they are doing around that home game? So we're really on hold for two things, is to see, are we approved to hold this event? It has a few different elements to it than a running event that's run as a time trial interval start in Shelby Park. We're talking about being down at Nissan Stadium. And I will tell you, we have looked at potential other venues for this too, and just haven't really found anything that works. I mean, it's not just that we're tied to downtown. We love the downtown venue. We love the vibe, but we have looked. We just haven't found what seems to make sense outside of venues we already have, like River Bluff. So hang tight on Music City Triathlon, Eddie Farrell Music City Triathlon. We hope that's happening. as soon as the soccer schedule comes out, we'll be having those conversations about that piece of the puzzle. And then the rest is really, working with Metro Health on what we feel like is the safe thing to announce right now. And again, we'll say, our COVID plan, those are live documents. Everything changes as we move along. We can make changes as things move along.
Yep. And we didn't even talk about the Music City Grand Prix race that's coming into Nashville, I think the week after our race, or
2 weeks.
2 weeks after.
Yep.
And, we're dealing with the city on that because there's major, paving going on.
Their routing goes around Nissan Stadium too. So that's,
the amount of people
exactly.
that go into coordinating a downtown race, it's astonishing if you ever get a chance. Ask. Yeah. It's kind of fun to kind of know the inner workings of these things. Yeah. So that's where we are with our downtown races. We didn't give you any breaking news on registrations opening on X date, but we hopefully you take from this that we are optimistic that these races can take place, and hopefully they will take place. Yep. If we did not feel like they could, we would have already notified you. Absolutely. And we would not even be worrying about this, but we're trying our best to make it happen. And even though it's later than normal and getting people signed up for these races, we know the demand is out there, and we want to provide that race to you.
Yeah, so save the date. We really appreciate you saving those dates. We're very optimistic that they can happen. And the rest of our calendar, we saw when we opened registration, we're seeing some people pop in there. We'd like to see your votes of support for those as well. We are confident with the ones that we opened registration for, or I can assure you we would not have opened registration unless something that none of us know about comes along with the current state of things. Those are all on.
Yeah.
So
check it out. Yeah. We really want to provide the best racing you can possibly get anywhere, and that's what we strive for. And so if we don't meet that expectation, we want you guys to let us know so we can improve.
Absolutely.
But 2021 is going to be a fun year. We think it's still going to feel like racing, so don't think things are weird and different. They're not. You're still racing. And we're going to make it as fun and as inviting as possible. And it's really cool to kind of see how many people that have signed up. They're kind of new. There's a number of new people that are still registering, which is kind of cool to me that we're still getting new people.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Is there anything else we want to talk about?
Do
we have any questions? I guess if you have a question, just scroll it or type it in real fast, and we'll address it.
I've been counting on you to look for those. I've been looking.
It's real small, but I don't think I've seen anything.
Okay.
I don't know. We do have, and maybe I'll give a little bit of break. We've got some big news coming up soon. I'm not going to break what that news is, but we have some information coming about something later on that we're really excited to share with you guys. So just a little tease. I
can't wait to hear what that is.
Just keep tuning in. It's called a tease. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back soon with our next Magic Chats.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Have a great weekend.